Now, a CBS 13 special presentation, the Gubernatorial Debate. And now, your moderator, Greg Lagerquist.
And a warm good evening to you tonight, and welcome on behalf of CBS 13, Fox 23, and the Bangor Daily News to the 2014 Gubernatorial Debate. I'd also like to take a moment to welcome in our live audience, a very respectful audience here, live at Hannaford Hall on the USM campus in Portland. So thank you to all for being part of this debate with us tonight. And speaking of Hannaford Hall, I'd like to welcome in my colleague before I get any further, our fellow panelist from the Bangor Daily News, the Bureau Chief of the State House for the Bangor Daily News, Chris Cousins. He'll be helping me ask the questions here tonight as well. And of course, I'd like to welcome you all in at home, watching us live on CBS 13 and watching streaming live on WGME.com and on BangorDailyNews.com. And this will be available later, by the way, on the websites for you to review as well. We also want to welcome in, of course, the three candidates, a Democrat, a Republican, an independent. We're going to get at their differences here tonight, but I want to start with this. I want to thank you on behalf of the people of Maine for your willingness to step up in this process and to serve the state of Maine. They may not agree on everything, and certainly they don't, and we'll get at that tonight, but there's no questioning their love for their state of Maine and for their willingness to step up and serve. So appreciation for that. Quick word on our format here tonight. We'll hear much more from them over the course of the next hour. Here's how it's going to work. Already told the audience, we'll tell you at home right now. Each candidate will have an opening statement, ruled by 60 seconds. Each answer, closing statement, opening statements, 60 seconds each. Following the opening statement, we'll have a question for each candidate, a series of questions. Each candidate will have a chance to answer each question. After that, we'll have rebuttal and discussion time. It is our format to encourage that discussion time as a way to explore their differences. After that, we'll have a lightning round designed to sort of cover as much ground as we possibly can in a short amount of time. And after that, we'll get to the closing statements. And again, 1 minute each. Based on a random drawing we held late last week to determine the order in which they stand before you right now and the order in which they will speak, we're going to begin our 1 minute opening statements with the Democratic nominee, Congressman Mike Michaud.
Well, thank you very much for hosting this debate this evening, and I want to thank the audience for coming as well. I look forward to sharing my vision of how we should move Maine forward in the future, and I know the voters have a very important decision to make on November 4th, whether or not we continue down the path of division, partisanship, and mismanagement and failed policy of the Governor LePage's administration that's left Maine lagging behind in growth throughout the country, or a new path where we can actually have a vision to strengthen our economy, creating jobs, lowering health care, ensuring that every child has access to affordable health care. That is the path that I want to bring people here in the state of Maine down, a positive path, a path that we all can be proud of. Because I don't care whether it's a Democratic idea, a Republican idea, or an independent idea. All that I care about is whether or not it's a good idea and to represent the people here in the state of Maine. I'm not going to represent the minority. I'm going to represent all the people here in the state of Maine. So I look forward to this debate, a lively discussion this evening with my two opponents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now to the Republican nominee and incumbent, Governor Paul LePage.
Thank you all for listening in and being here this evening. Everybody up here and everybody in the audience loves our great state, and so do I. In fact, never would I ever thought, as a child, growing up on the streets of Lewiston, that I'd ever be the governor of the state of Maine. So I have lived the American dream in this state. You know, and I believe that every man, woman, and child should have the opportunity that I've had to carve out their piece of the American dream. My liberal opponents will defend the status quo. No, they say they're very open-minded to new things. However, they're only open-minded when they're exactly the same thing as the old things. We owe our children, our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and all future generations the right to own a piece of the American dream. And that's what I stand for.
Thank you very much. And now our next opening statement from the independent, Eliot Cutler.
Thanks, Greg. Thank you, Chris. Maine today is 50th in this and 49th in that. Measured against our New England neighbors, we've endured a declining economy, not just for the last 3 years, but for 11 years in a row, through 8 years of a Democrat, now 3 years of a Republican. I don't have all the answers. No one does. But certainly Einstein was right when he said that we can't solve our problems with the same thinking we use to create them. So let's start by freeing ourselves from party politics and the special interests that have divided us. Let's think independently and creatively. Let's share a vision. Let's get behind a plan to create jobs and keep our kids in Maine. I've seen the possibilities all over the state of Maine. I've seen them in Guilford, in Skowhegan, in York. I've even seen them in Old Town, Bucksport, and Millinocket. Say no to politics as usual. And let's put aside our doubts. This is a time for confidence and courage. Turn away from fear. Turn away from fear. Vote your hopes and your dreams for yourselves and for your family and for the state of Maine.
Thank you to all the candidates for their opening statements.